Welcome back to Champion News Talk Radio. We are brought to you by championnews.net. Our founder, Jack Roser, and myself, Carol Parisi, have Mr. Bill Zettler with us today, the author of the Illinois Pension Scam book. And Bill, one taxpayer moves out of Illinois every 7 minutes. Where's Illinois going? Are we done?
They'll be leaving every 5 minutes soon because Chicago's a prime example. In the last 10 years, 200,000 people left Chicago.
But they came to the suburbs.
Not all of them. Of course, not all of them did not come. A lot of them went to Indiana.
Yeah, okay, very friendly.
Businesses all over the place.
But that's what's going to happen. Why would you live in Illinois if you didn't have to live in Illinois?
I have a friend of mine who
your
owns
family's
a business.
there would be good.
That's
good
the only
question.
reason. Right.
But there won't be jobs for your family.
Right.
The companies are leaving.
Yes. Well, I have a friend of mine who owns a business, and we were talking. He says, you know, Carol, he goes, I'm sure Wisconsin, Indiana have phone banks calling businesses saying, come here. We are a business-friendly state.
Yes.
Did you see what Governor Perry did, the ad he put on in California?
Yes, that was great.
Well,
everybody's going to be stealing businesses and quality employees from Illinois. The poor people aren't going to leave.
Regulations
They can't leave.
Are what drive them away.
When you get too many people you get more people on the apple cart and not enough people pushing that apple cart and pulling that apple cart, what's going to happen? What is going to happen here?
What's going to happen is Michigan. Illinois is going to become Michigan. Chicago's going to be Detroit. People don't believe me when I say that, but in 10 years...
It's devastating. This state is a good state. We have natural resources. We have industry. Our industry has declined over the years.
We have a corrupt political system.
We have a corrupt political system.
I just saw today that Jesse Jackson Jr. is going to jail. So there's another one biting the dust.
It's the most crooked state. It's the most broke state of the 50. Yes. It's a tragedy.
It is.
Mr. Madigan, you've run this state all along. How do you like the results? We're losing all these companies that you're grinding down with taxes of all kinds. You can't manufacture in this state without being at a disadvantage to those around us. Why?
No.
Because of the taxes and of the regulations and the corruption that goes on. I moved my business out of Cook County 40 years ago because I couldn't stand
even the public
crooked
employees.
Politicians.
Today, the police union in Chicago asked for a 12% raise over the next 2 years and a $3,000 a year stipend in order to pay the higher cost in Chicago. They need the money to pay the taxes, to pay their pensions. And that's how bad it's going to get. So now those policemen, if they can get a job in Schaumburg, they're probably going to do it.
Well, and that's, but the larger picture is that companies, mostly large ones, middle-sized ones, they're leaving the state. Why stay here? Rich people are leaving it. They've raised all of the taxes on them.
Yeah.
Why should they stay here?
You see Florida? Florida's also promoting. Come on down. We've got business here. Madigan has been in charge since 1970.
Yes.
This problem, in 1970, he's been involved with the General Assembly.
And now he wants to retire and let his daughter become governor. Well, that'll be a nice change.
He was at the Constitutional Convention in 1970 that changed the pension rules. That's how long he's been around.
Well, and since 2003, they've had both chambers.
Yes.
And it's not getting any better.
And the governorship, of course.
Both chambers and the governorship.
Right.
They own, the Democrats own this mess.
Yes, they do.
The Democrats own this mess.
A little while ago, Madigan suggested, and when people started talking about the pension problems, Madigan says, well, let's push the paying of the pensions back to the school districts where these people came from. Why shouldn't the local people pay the pensions?
Pay higher property
There's a big reason why, is because the whole thing got corrupted with the union that got into this thing, and they changed the flow of money. That $100 million a year that's coming into the political scheme, some of it spent nationally, a lot of it spent on Madigan, the stinking Democrat Party, and his daughter. All of that has corrupted the whole machinations of this thing to where we have run up the taxes so damned high, nobody can pay the pensions for the people that were supposed to be running the things.
And let's not
For
forget
every superintendent of there are, what, 960 different school districts in the whole state. When one of those superintendents retires, just a do-nothing guy that's merely there to help him pass more referendums, I mean, who needs him? Every room has got a teacher in it. So what those guys do is they retire at $200,000 a year.
Yep.
And so how are you going to pay the $200 billion that kind of pensions have? As well, you raise the taxes. So the companies can't be competitive paying the taxes of all kinds that get raised in this state, so they move out of state. Why should anybody that's a rich person, and they're going to have to pay inheritance taxes and real estate taxes and everything else kind of a damn tax in Illinois, rich people don't have to stay here, so they go to Florida or someplace. It isn't the sunlight that brings them there, it's the taxes shining on Illinois that makes them leave the state. I'm old. I know what my state was like when I was a young man. It wasn't like this.